Good morning, guys. What is going on? I hope you guys are having a beautiful day because outside right now, ooh, it looks so good outside. The sun comes up from that way, so like over here this morning, I can see the sun in the trees and it's just beautiful. I'm gonna stop rambling on about that. Today, I have something kind of awesome to show you guys and kind of talk a little bit about. I wanna do a full in-depth review on this lens. Today, I'm gonna kind of just show you the lens and I'm going to show you some places where you can use it, what this lens is great for, and how you can kind of use it to even create transitions in some of your cinematic videos. Using this lens really adds a dramatic feel to your cinematics, especially if you have some like wider angle shots. If you throw a couple of these bad boys in there, they just get crispy. So, without further ado, let's open the pack and I'll show you what lens I'm talking about. It's kind of hard to do this like this, but it's all good. Wow. Whoosh. This is the Canon 75 to 300 millimeter lens. I thought I forgot to put the lens cap on it, but it's there. You're probably thinking to yourself, I'm not a bird photographer or videographer. Why would I ever need a 300 millimeter lens to create cinematics? Well, there's where you're wrong. I'm gonna go through what I like to do and some shots that I have used in the past or that I've gotten in the past of why I like to use this and what you can kind of do with the lens. The first thing is, I like to use this whenever I am trying to pop a subject out of my background, because if you guys know the basic photography things, the farther in you are, the more pancake flat your image is. So the depth of field kind of squishes up together. And the reason this is amazing is because if you want to pop something off of your background and you really want it to stand out and bring a focus into a certain point, you're gonna want to use something like this. And the reason for that is because if you zoom in, you don't even have to go that far. Let's just say you go to 100 mil right there and you're trying to shoot some coffee beans coming out of the bag and going into something, I don't know, the grinder maybe. If you're trying to shoot something like that and you really want to bring, that'd actually be a really cool shot, but if you really want to bring focus to those coffee beans falling, you'd want to go in a little bit and you just want to shoot that, preferably in slow motion, obviously. You'd want to shoot that, and what that's going to do is it's going to allow you to focus on those beans coming out, but everything else is going to be extremely blurred out. And it's really cool. I did this a couple days ago in one of my vlogs for I think this was the last vlog actually, the dirt bike vlog. Actually, no, that was a couple vlogs ago. I don't know. Whenever I rode that day and I was changing my graphics out and stuff like that, I used this lens. I think I was all over the spectrum here from 75 to 300 in those shots, but I got really in close there on my bars and on my swing arms, my tires, everything on the bike. I got really, really close. It allowed that background to be really blurred and it really pulled focus into what I was shooting there. And if you notice, you have to be careful whenever you're shooting something like this because you don't typically want to start out with a tight shot like that. You know, depending on the project, you might. A lot of times what I like to do is I like to get a wide shot to kind of establish my setting first. So if you go back and watch that video, the first shot during that cinematic sequence was using my wide angle lens, which I'm using right now. It's a 10 to 18 mil, the EFS one from Canon. I like to kind of establish the setting with that shot, and then once everybody knows, the setting, they get a feel for it, then I punch in real far with this 75 to 300 millimeter lens. So that's why that's fantastic. And now that I've showed you some examples, I hope you guys kind of get a feel for like when you want to use this thing and why this lens is so great. But before I leave here, I want to talk about this lens is not a fast lens really. It's not very fast, and the reason being is because it's such a wide focal range. 75 to 300 mil, you're not really going to get a very fast lens with that. It's a 4 to 5.6. So it is what it is. You're probably not going to be able to shoot in really low light situations very well without pumping your ISO up really far. Where I was in a pretty well lit shop, so I don't believe I had my ISO too high. I might have had it around 800 to 1000, which is getting a little high, but it's not going to be anything noticeable. It's not like you're at crazy numbers in the thousands. Overall, I really like this lens so far. I haven't had as much time as I would like to use it. I really want to do a lot more with it. I plan on it in the future. This thing right here is amazing to help your cinematic sequences. It gives them a whole nother level of professionalism, I guess, whenever you can punch in on your subjects and get them close. but make sure you use general rules like maybe establishing your shot with a wider lens first and then getting in with this one. But simple things like that are really going to add to your cinematic, and if you can get in there, punch that background, just make it blurry, and then just really focusing on your subject. Another tip, especially for my photographer, people out there, what's really cool with a lens like this is if you have a subject, so okay, say we have a bed of flowers right here, and you have a subject that's standing in the middle of the bed of flowers. What you can do is you can punch into about 100 mil or even farther if you want, depending on how far you're going to have to stand back. That's another thing. The farther in you go, the farther back you're going to have to stand. So if you're at 300 mil, you're probably going to have to walk pretty far back. So just keep that in mind. But if you have somebody that's standing in the middle of a bed of flowers or kneeling down or something, what you can do is you can go in a little bit and you can get down, and this is what I like to do. You can focus on that subject, get it to where the person is in focus, and then you can get down really low and then put a flower or two just right here on the lens, just a little covering it somewhere, maybe above or below or whatever you want to do. It's going to be completely blurry, but you'll see the colors still. So you just want to punch in there, get the person in focus. This is going to be blurry, they're going to be in focus, and then the background is also going to be blurry. So it's really cool because you get that like cool depth thing going on. You have your blurriness in the front, your in focus part, which is a really narrow band in the middle, and then you have your out of focus. Oh, excuse me. It's too early to talk this much. It's 7 o'clock. But yeah, so that's a super cool tip. I just kind of wanted to come at you and show you when you can use a lens like that. Now, it doesn't have to be this lens specifically, a 75-300. I'm kind of speaking in general for any higher focal length lens. So, you could have a 300mm prime, you could have anything. Just kind of keep those things in mind whenever you're using things that are really high focal length, because they can really add a lot to your cinematic. I can't wait to travel with this. I am so excited to travel with this. I made my Cancun edit, my Mexico edit. I didn't have a ton of lenses when I did that. I had a couple. When I was leaving here, I was like, I think I'm just gonna bring the 10-18mm wide lens, and I'm gonna challenge myself to try and make a decent cinematic with just the 10-18mm. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be. I would have loved to have brought this, which I did not have this one at the time, but I would have loved to have brought this because I'm just thinking right now all the things that I could have shot, and it would have been really cool. It's fun to challenge yourself. If you guys have a trip coming up, I challenge you to take one lens, pick one lens and bring it and see if you can make a decent cinematic, and let me know how it goes. Down in the comments, just let me know. That's gonna do it for today's video, guys. Please like and subscribe. I have content coming your way as much as I possibly can, and I have a lot of things planned that are on the way. So, with that in mind, I will see you guys in the next one. Bam!